Hi everyone, welcome to another episode. My name's Warnaar. Today I wanted to talk to you about your savings, and I'm sure I just sounded like one of your parents, right? But the reality is most people don't save, and if they do, they often only save for sporadic moments at a time before spending it all again, right? While I do not believe in accumulating vast amounts of cash, is a smart thing to do. I do believe that everyone should at least have one savings account that gets topped up regularly and one emergency fund and invest the remainder for the long term. I'm sure you've heard of the analogy guns and butter. This term is often used in politics and refers to the investments in a nation's defense and civilian goods. While I'm not attempting to get political right now, we can take this analogy and apply it to our own lives. Every quarter, I like to do a little test. I write down for a full week everything I purchase and spend money on or send money to. And then I put right next to it down guns or butter. I also do this in real time so I don't forget to do it later. Doing this gives me a clear indication about how my spending habits are either improving or declining. While I purchase something that is impulsive or serves no use to me in the future, or it does not make me money, I write butter. For anything that I purchase that makes me money or is an asset that increases in value, I will write gun. Let me give you some examples. Let's say one day I write down these 5 things. 1, Netflix subscription, chocolate bar, petrol, webcam, and a new t-shirt. I would write them down and I would also put the price next to it. Then I would also write gun or butter next to it. So Netflix subscription, butter, chocolate bar, butter, petrol, butter, webcam, gun, new t-shirt, butter. This shows me how many things I am spending money on that are guns or butter. After this, I will then calculate how much I spend on guns and how much I spend on butter. So in the example I just gave you, I spent $30 on guns and $107 on butter. Now, what I need to do is flip this table around. I'm not saying don't spend any money on anything that's butter. That would be unrealistic and also a very boring life in my opinion. But I don't want to spend more on butter than I am spending on guns. So I need to make some changes here. I could do this in a couple of ways. 1, I could spend less on butter. For example, rather than fueling up my car to go to work, I could catch public transport. Now, keep in mind that may not be an option for you if you use your car for work purposes, like you're an Uber driver, then maybe putting fuel in your car would be considered gun. 2, I can increase the amount of money I am spending on guns by not accumulating stuff that is supposed to make me money for the sake of it, but by investing it. Let's say I purchased 5 shares in Tesla or invested $100 into a long-term ETF. This would increase the amount of money I am spending on guns. Now, ultimately, if you want to save money and increase your net worth at the same time, I would suggest that you implement both these methods together, decrease your butter and increase your guns. Now, in regards to how much you should be saving, it really should be the maximum amount that you can, coupled with long-term investing. Your emergency fund also should not be calculated based on your earnings, but rather based on your expenses and the expenses that you cannot go without. For example, if your income increases, that doesn't mean that your expenses should as well. So why would you increase your emergency fund just for the sake of it? For example, if you feel most comfortable with an emergency fund that covers 3 months of expenses, this should not include things like Netflix or things that you could quite easily go without. After all, in an emergency, you're really going to be concerned with a really high quality of life, or are you going to be more concerned about and focused on surviving and getting back on track? Now, please keep in mind when I refer to an emergency fund, I'm talking about a fund that may be required for emergencies like losing your job temporarily or between jobs for a certain amount of time. In regards to emergencies like mechanical problems with your car, then in my opinion, this should probably come out of your savings. And then you focus on topping that back up. I also set ceilings for all my savings accounts and I review them quarterly. This ensures that I'm not accumulating too much and I am investing in the future, but also when I spend it, I ensure that I top it back up again before investing further. This also stops me from taking money away from my long-term investments. Anyway guys, I hope you really enjoyed the video and I provided you with some value. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you next time.